So let me get this straight.
Yeah.
Bioshock isn't getting a movie.
No.
Halo's not getting a movie.
Not anytime soon.
And Earthworm Jim isn't getting a movie.
Why would Earthworm Jim ever get a
But
movie?
Ratchet and Clank is getting a movie?
It's Clank, and yeah.
What the hell is Ratchet and Clank?
I don't know. I don't have anything to say about it.
Me neither.
Oh, we don't.
We do. Shouldn't you guys be doing a thing?
No.
We're good.
Rainmaker Entertainment, in association with Insomniac Games, are teaming up for a new feature film. They've already released the teaser trailer online for a Ratchet and Clank feature movie, and we're expecting a release sometime in 2015. Insomniac Games head writer TJ Fixman has joined the project. So, Ian, what do you think of the impending Ratchet and Clank feature film?
Hopefully the writing would be pretty good because TJ Fixman actually wrote the original game's plot, and since he's basically rewriting it for a film, it should actually be quite excellent. And one of the things that the game was actually praised for was kind of like the comedic humor and some of the weapons and gadgets in the game, which might be really fun to see on the big screen. And I feel like it would actually be a very good kids movie in a sense because it was kind of directed at like our age when we were in 2002, and that's probably the age audience that will probably see it.
Do you happen to remember if it was rated E or T?
It was rated T for teenagers.
So it's got a little bit of that adult humor, but I even remember when I was first playing the games, not that I played too much, but it seemed like the dialogue and the characters really are what stuck out, not necessarily the gameplay as much. I might be offending some bigger fans of the games, but for me, I was really responding to just the humor of the first game.
Yeah, the humor is definitely the strong point, and I feel like they definitely, like, the gameplay isn't something that will translate to the film, so it won't necessarily hamper it, but I'm really curious how they will, like, deal with combat and stuff in the film itself.
I know I'm pretty personally interested in the look of the film because I know that when I originally played the video games, this was back on my PS2, and besides from, like, Shadow of the Colossus, I wouldn't say that any other game really looked as good as Ratchet and Clank back in the day. And so, from what I hear, they're just using the same system to create this movie, except for in better detail. And especially when you mention like the gadgets and stuff, I'm really interested in seeing those on the big screen in full HD resolution, right?
Yeah, like it's, I looked at the game recently and it's aged pretty well, I'd say, and they recently did a HD remake, which has been selling pretty well, is what I've heard. And I honestly feel like what I've heard is that they've started to do blocking with some of the characters from the games, and the developers themselves have started like collaborating with the CG animators to help create the film itself. So it might actually look very excellent in terms of quality of like the CGI and stuff.
It does bring up the thing that we mentioned at the top with our cold open about all the other films that don't, video games that don't have film adaptations. You think about Halo or Bioshock, and there's a lot of others out there.
Assassin's Creed, even, really cinematic games that would lend to the medium.
Although that's still apparently in production with
Is it?
Fassbender.
Really?
I don't know if it's actually gone into production.
I haven't heard much about it.
They're
since.
rumoring that. The thing is, though, if this Ratchet and Clank movie happens, as it seems like it's going to, does that open the door for more video game adaptations, especially if it's a successful one that has its kind of cult following, but isn't necessarily a huge game the way that the Assassin's Creed series was? I think almost how Veronica Mars on Kickstarter opened up the door for a lot of bigger Kickstarter projects, you might get that kind of thing with Ratchet and Clank becoming a movie.
Well, if Ratchet and Clank leads to an Earthworm Jim movie, then I'll be very pleased.
I think it would really depend. Like, games are something that people play because they like playing the game and it's fun to play. And to be honest, until very recently, games have been pretty poorly written. So trying to adapt the characters and stuff is kind of a huge task, and that's why a lot of the game movies are really terrible, because it's just very hard to adapt. But I think because, like, it's not because it's obscure, but it's because it would work well, is why Ratchet and Clank has actually gotten this far.
I think what Ratchet and Clank has lending to it is games like Assassin's Creed and Bioshock have these incredibly detailed games that storylines that take so many hours to get through. And I think Ratchet and Clank, while there is a lot of gameplay involved and a lot of details, a lot of that can be kind of skipped over and really fit into a feature-length film. And I think that'll probably play to the hearts of the fans even too, because you won't have like the problem with Harry Potter where they're cutting in and out things from a book or even any other video game. Like Final Fantasy, that movie came out kind of different than any of the games and kind of an art piece on its own, but we can see where this film goes, I think.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot to consider with the impending Ratchet and Clank. I mean, it seems like it's set up for success. The teaser trailer actually is entertaining. You know, it's not.
It looks like the game.
It looks and feels even the feeling of the humor and the dialogue. It's the same old Ratchet and Clank game, and it seems like it would translate. And it'll be interesting, especially if they're using the same graphical style, because it's not one that we normally see in animated feature films. But at the same time, it might serve as a good art piece. I don't know. For more Pretentious Film Majors videos, stay here on the PFM channel. And for more information on us and our show, go to pretentiousfilmmajors.com.
Man, Ratchet and Clank. You know, I hope they make a GoldenEye movie.
They made the GoldenEye movie.
They did? What's it called?
GoldenEye.